Everyone thought Timi would never amount to anything. He was born mute and poor, but they were wrong, because the boy who couldn't speak, one day, made the whole world listen. In a quiet village surrounded by tall trees and red sand roads, a baby boy was born during a storm. His name was Timi, and from the moment he entered the world, something felt different. His cry never came. At first, his mother, Mama Sade, thought it was just a delay. But weeks turned into months, and Timi never made a sound. No laughter, no cry, not even a whisper. She carried him from one herbalist to another, from one prayer house to the next, hoping for a miracle. But everywhere she went, the answer was the same. Timi was mute. His father didn't take it well. A man who believed boys should be strong and loud, he slowly drifted away. One day, he packed his bag and left for Lagos, never to return. Mama Sade was left alone to raise Timi and his older sister, Fola. Life was hard. They were poor, barely eating twice a day. Mama Sade sold roasted maize by the roadside. Her fingers blackened by fire, her back bent from years of struggle. But she never gave up. She loved Timi fiercely, even when others called him the useless one. In the village, people whispered behind their backs. He can't speak, so he can't learn. He's cursed, you know. That's why his father ran away. He'll be a burden forever. But Timi didn't let their words break him, because he couldn't hear them the way others did. He saw emotions, not just sounds. He noticed things others missed, the way a leaf trembled before the wind blew, the way Mama Sade's eyes filled with pain when she smiled, the way his sister Fola clenched her fists when people mocked him. Timi learned in silence. At age 6, he followed Fola to school. The teachers didn't want him at first. He can't speak. How will he learn? But one day, when the teacher wrote a hard math problem on the board and no one got it right, Timi stood up and pointed to the correct answer on his slate. The whole class went silent. From that day, the teacher let him stay, and Timi learned everything without speaking. He wrote faster than anyone else. He solved puzzles that left adults confused. He drew charts, maps, and even diagrams of things nobody had taught him. But it wasn't just books. Timi had a gift. He could feel music. Though he never heard the words, he understood rhythm. He'd tap his fingers on tables, tin cans, his knees, any surface he could find. It was like music was trapped inside him, trying to get out. One day, when Fola was singing in church, Timi tapped a rhythm beside her, using just a plastic chair and his fingers. A visiting music teacher turned to look. "Who's that boy?" he asked. "That's my brother," Fola said proudly. "He can't talk, but he can do that all day." The man's name was Mr. Obi, a music teacher from the city. He was amazed. He asked to see more. Timi didn't hesitate. He picked up 2 pencils, tapped a beat on the wooden bench, then moved to the floor, the wall, the table, creating a pattern so rich, so beautiful, that even the birds outside went quiet. "He doesn't just play rhythm," Mr. Obi said softly. "He is rhythm." That was the beginning of everything. Mr. Obi started coming every weekend, bringing old drums, empty cans, sticks, and books about music. He taught Timi how to read music notes, even though Timi never spoke a word. They created their own signs, their own language of claps, nods, and smiles. Timi built his first drum set from buckets, cooking pots, and bicycle tires. When he played, the whole village would gather. Even the people who once called him useless sat quietly, watching him with wide eyes. He wasn't just good. He was extraordinary. But not everyone was happy. Some older boys in the village were jealous. They called him names, mocked his silence, even broke his homemade drums one evening when no one was watching. When Mama Sade found him sitting in the sand, tears streaming down his face, broken drumsticks in hand, she knelt beside him and whispered, "My son, your voice is stronger than their noise." He looked up at her, eyes red, then picked up 2 stones and began to tap on the ground. Slowly, the rhythm returned. His music couldn't be stolen. Then came the letter. Mr. Obi had sent a video of Timi's playing to a friend in the city, a man who ran a special school for talented musicians. The man was blown away. He offered Timi a scholarship, full tuition, housing, food, everything. Mama Sade cried for hours, not from sadness, but from pride. "You're going to a place where your gift will shine," she said. "Go and make the world listen." At age 12, Timi left his village for the first time. The city was loud and fast, filled with people, traffic, lights, and noise. But Timi found peace in one place, the music room. The first time he walked in and saw real drums, pianos, violins, and microphones, he stood still for 5 minutes, just staring. Then he smiled. He touched each instrument with care, like greeting old friends. And when he sat behind the drums, he played a beat so perfect, the school principal stepped out of her office and stood in the hallway, stunned. That day, Timi found his new home. Timi became a wonder at the music school. Teachers, students, even visitors were amazed by him. Though he never spoke a word, his drums spoke for him. When he played, people felt emotions they couldn't explain: joy, sadness, hope, love. His music touched hearts. He won awards within the school and outside. Videos of his performances began to spread online. People all over the country watched the silent boy who made the drums weep and sing. One day, the school received an invitation. It was for the World Young Talents Music Competition, a huge event held every year in South Africa. Only the best students from different countries were selected. Timi was one of them. Everyone at the school cheered, but deep down, Timi felt nervous. This would be his first time on a plane, first time out of Nigeria, and first time performing before thousands of people from all over the world. Mr. Obi came to visit him before the trip. He placed a firm hand on Timi's shoulder and smiled. Don't think about the crowd. Don't think about the noise. Just close your eyes and let your soul speak. Timi nodded. At the airport, reporters surrounded him. Some asked, "How does it feel to be representing Nigeria?" Others shouted, "Can you hear us? Can you say something?" Timi said nothing. He simply smiled, lifted his hand, and tapped a tiny rhythm on his suitcase handle. The sound was soft, but it silenced the crowd. In South Africa, the competition was huge. The stage was bright, the lights blinding, the audience massive. There were singers, violinists, pianists, and more. Children with unbelievable talent. Timi was the only one who didn't speak. When it was his turn to perform, he stepped onto the stage alone. He carried nothing with him but a pair of sticks. People whispered, "Where are his drums? What is he going to do?" He walked to the center, knelt down, and tapped on the wooden floor. Just like back in the village, the sound echoed. Then, slowly, the lights dimmed. A spotlight fell on him. And with just his sticks, a metal stool, the floor, and the mic stands, he created music so powerful that even the judges leaned forward in awe. He told a story through rhythm. He showed the pain of losing his voice, the strength of his mother, the laughter of his sister, the fire of being mocked, the healing of being loved, and the joy of finding his gift. By the time he finished, the hall was completely silent. Then, a roar of applause. People stood to their feet, clapping, shouting, crying. The judges gave him a perfect score. The announcer ran to the stage, took his hand, and lifted it into the air. "The boy who doesn't speak has just spoken to the world," he said. News outlets around the globe picked up the story. Mute Nigerian boy wins global music competition. Drums of silence. Timi's story touches millions. Back home, the entire village gathered around small TVs and radios, watching their Timi on the screen. The same people who once mocked him now shouted with pride, "That's our boy! He came from here! God truly works in strange ways." Mama Sade cried harder than she ever had. A few weeks later, Timi and his mother were invited to meet the president. They walked into the grand room holding hands. The president smiled warmly, then bent slightly and whispered, "You didn't speak, yet you taught the world something special." Timi tapped his chest twice and bowed his head in thanks. He received a national award for excellence in the arts, a full university scholarship, and invitations to perform across the world. But Timi didn't forget where he came from. He returned to the village, not with pride, but with purpose. He rebuilt the old school. He set up a free music center for children with disabilities. He trained other mute children how to use rhythm, movement, and creativity to express themselves. His dream was to make sure no child felt useless the way he once did. One day, a reporter asked him, through written notes, "What would you say to the world if you had a voice?" Timi wrote just 4 words, "I don't need one." Because truly, he didn't. He had drums, he had rhythm, he had purpose. And most importantly, he had the heart to make the world listen, even in silence.